So, years ago, I had a boss that, thank goodness, I didn't have to see on a regular basis because I traveled, but he was my superior, and he was a younger than me gentleman. Of course, I am older than most everybody. And he was pudgy and stodgy and kind of short, and just felt like there was nothing about him that stunk, if you get my drift. His shit didn't stink. In other words, whatever he said, whatever he did, whatever he wanted to do, whatever decision he made was the perfect decision, not only for him, but for everybody else. So I tolerated him, did my job. I left him no room to criticize any work I did. And that was my best fight. But he found out, of course, that I was voting for President Trump way back in 2016. And I've always said it's not Republican or Democrat. It's what you believe government is supposed to do. Government is supposed to be only doing for us collectively what we can't do for ourselves on our own. You know, army, roads, things like that. And I just believe that smaller government is better government, and government that listens to the people and serves the people. It's gotten way too out of control. So yes, I was voting for Trump, and he couldn't stand it. Matter of fact, he did everything he could to convince me that I needed to grow up, that I needed to hear the truth, that I needed to believe him. And, I was not an ignorant woman. I knew my stuff, and I could hold, the line with him. And at some point, I just stopped communicating. I said, look, if you have something to relate in regards to work, that's fine. But of course, he knew my number. He knew my Facebook. I actually took him off of my Facebook because I just got tired of all that he posted. So it continued into 2020. But at that point, I no longer worked for him because I traveled with COVID. That stopped. And I just decided that it was time to get out of that business because I'd be gone so long. But of course, it didn't stop with him. And he hoped I had come to the truth that I should not be voting for Trump. Well, I told him, sorry, I am. So now it was 2024 and he's running again. And of course, he couldn't believe it. And he started communicating with me again. And for the most part, I ignored it. He had some very nasty, unkind things to say. And of course, he just believes that Joey is the most wonderful thing next to Jesus. And just couldn't believe that anybody thought anything but the guy was just amazing. And I said, I'm sorry. I can't vote for him. I don't believe him. I don't trust him. And I had seen some of the deeper, darker things that we weren't supposed to talk about. And it just made me nervous. And I didn't like the way that he never came out and spoke. He just hid in the basement. So he just was unbelievable and just could never address it. So on November 5th, I thought of him when we won and Trump became, our nominee and then nominated and selected for president. But I waited. He had sent me a message somewhere in there. I didn't respond. I just didn't. But today I did take a picture of Trump being sworn in, and I sent it to him and said, Happy New Year. I wish you all the best. Boy, I'm glad I did, because I just think he needed to know that some people he just couldn't bully his way into. So anyway, I just finally blocked him because that was the only way I was going to stop it. I'll probably unblock him and see what he has to say, but I'm not ever responding again. I'm not sorry I sent it, but there's a lot of people like that. And I said, all you had to do was just say Happy New Year to you. But no, he went into a long diatribe. So anyway, just remember, people, sometimes the best argument is no argument. And that's what he got for the most part from me. I wish him well. I wish Joey well. I hope he has a great retirement now. But I do pray for our nation, and I pray for this administration. So God bless us all.